4 nights, 4 super shows featuring the winged warriors of the world of outlaws. Will the king reign supreme? Will Slim and Sammy steal the throne? Don't miss the fastest 4 wheels on dirt as they light up the Empire State, taking no prisoners. It's the Battle of New York as the
50s, the transmission in all modifieds was exactly like the transmission in your family car. Well, a lot has changed since then. Here's Jeff Trombley with our Sunoco High Performance Report.
This week's Sunoco High Performance Report, we're going to talk to you a little bit about the transmission use in a dirt modified. Basically, the transmission we use is a 2-speed standard transmission. The automatic transmission was tried a few years ago, but it proved to be awful unreliable. Although we do use a standard transmission, we don't actually do much shifting out on the racetrack. The transmission has a low speed to get you up to racing speed, and then we use a high gear, which is direct drive, to get us going. There's a number of different manufacturers that make the transmissions that we use, although Burt transmission is the most popular. It takes a very special transmission to hold up under 700 horsepower and put it to the ground. For this week's Sunoco High Performance Report, driver of the Altair Audio 21J, I'm Jeff Trombley.
We've all heard of the legendary ride of Paul Revere. Well, now it's time to go to Canandaigua and a couple of legendary rides, one by Mark Hawkins, and let's not forget Steve Payne.
Saturday night at the Land of Legends, the Canandaigua Speedway. It was the 50-lap Dennis Taney Memorial for the modifieds, and what it was one heck of an exciting race. In the early going, drivers were moving forward very quickly. Look at AJ Slideways, Alan Johnson in the LaFoy 14J, taking 3 cars in turn number 2. He then caught up to leader Gil Tegg. Tegg on the outside in the black 22. Johnson on the inside, down the front stretch. Johnson shuts him down and goes into the number 1 spot. Then this wild wreck, Greg Hickson in the 1S gets hit, and the 105 of Mark Hawkins does a barrel roll in turn number 1. A number of cars were involved. Many of the cars sustained some pretty heavy damage. Hawkins was helped out of his car, but got to his feet, and he was okay. Some of the other drivers involved examining the damage. You can see Steve Ledd's 88 caught in this wreck, along with the 52 of Bob Northrup. Now, here's what happened in slow motion. Greg Hickson's car slowed down. He was tagged by the Jeffrey 24. Then by Art McDonald's 100, you see Ledd's 88 getting rear-ended by Northrup. He piled into Hickson as Hawkins had Eldon Jensen's 81J go over the front end of his car. That sent him rolling. He wound up landing on his roof. When the green flag came back out after a brief red flag period, Alan Johnson moved into the number 1 spot with Payne following close behind. Payne then went up to his home lane at Canandaigua, the outside group known as the Payne lane. He used that to go to the number 1 spot, relegating AJ Slideways to number 2. On this restart, though, Johnson got the best of him. Payne dropped back to 2nd, and behind Payne, fast company. Bob McCready in the Kinney Drugs car number 9, and the Canadian number 1 of Joe Plozek. McCready would get up into the number 2 spot. Allen would jump down to the low groove, and McCready would go up in the Payne lane to try to take the victory on this night. Lap after lap, they charged each other and battled until McCready tagged Darrell Welty's lap car going into turn 3, and that was it for the Kinney Drugs car number 9. Some great racing was going on in the middle of the pack as well, especially with a man who's not too familiar with the Land of Legends. Pete Bicknell in car number 42, the defending Mr. Dirt Small Block champion, made an appearance on this night and garnered a top 10 finish. The action was up front, however, as the lead battle raged on in the closing laps as Steve Payne went back up the Payne lane to go up into the number 1 spot, and at the end of the race, Steve Payne was in the spotlight.
The Fuji Points picture spotlights the small block tracks. We'll start at Orange County, where leading the way is Danny Johnson, followed by Steve Dodd.
At Can-Am, only one race